What truly defines a ruler's legacy? The monuments they raise, the lands they conquer, or the bloodlines they leave behind? For a rare few monarchs, it was all three, with an extraordinary emphasis on producing heirs as a calculated tool of statecraft. From genetically proven legacies like Genghis Khan's to meticulously recorded dynasties like King Sabuza II's, the rulers on this list didn't just make history, they reproduced it on an epic scale. At number 10, we have the remarkable King Robert II of Scotland, 1371 to 1390, the very first monarch of the House of Stuart, who faced the daunting challenge of establishing a new royal dynasty on the Scottish throne. Unlike rulers who relied solely on military victories, Robert II cleverly used his own lineage as a tool for power. While he had legitimate heirs to secure the main succession, his true dynastic strategy lay in his astonishing network of at least 13 acknowledged illegitimate children. Far from being sidelined, these so-called royal bastards were deliberately woven into Scotland's political fabric. Robert II strategically married them into powerful noble families, creating alliances that extended his influence across the kingdom. This approach was revolutionary, a multi-layered power structure built not just on direct heirs, but on a sprawling web of bloodlines and loyalties. Each child became a living political link, strengthening his hold on Scotland. His reign demonstrated that the art of kingship could be as much about skillful matchmaking as it was about ruling from the throne, cementing his place among history's most prolific and strategic monarchs. Taking the ninth spot is Prince Hertman of Liechtenstein, 1657 to 1721, an extraordinary figure who defied the typical patterns of royal prolificacy. While many rulers on this list achieved massive families through polygamy or multiple political marriages, Hertman accomplished something remarkable within a strictly monogamous union. Together with his wife, Countess Elizabeth zu Salm-Reiferscheidt, he fathered an astounding 21 children. This was no mere accident of fate. It was a testament to a shared vision of family and legacy that stretched beyond political necessity. In an age when noble marriages were often tools of diplomacy rather than affection, Hertman and Elizabeth's enduring partnership stood out. Their immense family proved that dynastic strength didn't always require multiple wives or harems. Sometimes, devotion to a single partner could yield an equally vast and enduring legacy. Each child represented a continuation of the Liechtenstein line, offering opportunities for alliances, land inheritance, and political stability. Hertman's achievement wasn't just in numbers, but in showing how loyalty and unity could be as powerful as any royal treaty. At number 8, we find the legendary King Henry I of England, 1100 to 1135, a ruler as renowned for his sharp intellect as for his extraordinary capacity to father children. Known by the nickname Beauclerc for his scholarly mind, Henry I's legitimate line was tragically cut short, but his astonishing tally of 21 to 25 acknowledged illegitimate offspring ensured his genetic legacy thrived. His mistresses came from a variety of backgrounds, English, Norman, and Welsh, reflecting his far-reaching influence and a refreshing disregard for the rigid social barriers of the time. More than a personal indulgence, Henry's vast brood served as a deliberate political instrument. By marrying his daughters into powerful houses and granting his sons prestigious titles like the Earldom of Gloucester, he created a dense web of alliances that fortified his reign. In an era of frequent political turbulence, these blood connections were invaluable, binding noble families to the crown. Henry I's reign stands as proof that a ruler's most effective army could sometimes be made up of sons and daughters rather than soldiers and knights. Claiming the 7th position is Emperor Kangxi of China, 1661 to 1722, one of the most revered emperors in Chinese history, remembered not just for his military and administrative brilliance, but for his jaw-dropping family of 56 children. Born to multiple empresses and consorts, these offspring symbolize the immense reach and power of the Qing dynasty. Yet Kangxi understood the dangers that came with such abundance. Numerous potential heirs could mean intense rivalry and political chaos. His solution was both unique and disciplined. He transformed his role as father into that of a dedicated teacher. In his famous Room of No Leisure, Kangxi personally oversaw the rigorous education of his children, demanding excellence in calligraphy, memorization of classical texts, mastery of military strategy, and moral discipline. This was not simply parenting, it was statecraft in action. Kangxi's approach turned his sprawling royal household into a well-trained cadre of future leaders, each equipped to serve the empire in various capacities. By balancing dynastic security with careful preparation, he ensured that his enormous family became an asset rather than a liability, preserving stability in one of the largest empires in the world. At number 6, we arrive at the formidable King Abdul Aziz ibn Saud, 19 1932 to 1953, the legendary founder of modern Saudi Arabia and the architect of one of history's most strategic dynastic networks. Tasked with uniting the vast and often hostile tribes of the Arabian Peninsula, he wielded not only the sword, but also the power of marriage as his ultimate weapon of statecraft. With an estimated 44 to 45 sons and numerous daughters from 22 wives, Abdul Aziz transformed personal relationships into political alliances. By marrying daughters of key tribal leaders, he neutralized rivalries, turning former enemies into loyal kin. His most famous progeny were the Sudari Seven, a powerful block of full brothers whose influence shaped the kingdom's politics for generations. This was not simply a family, it was a living framework of governance, each child a carefully placed cornerstone of national unity. Even decades after his death, the throne has been occupied almost exclusively by his sons and now a grandson, proof that Abdul Aziz's dynastic blueprint was not only visionary but enduring. His reign demonstrates how an ancient tradition of alliance building through marriage could be repurposed to forge the identity and stability of a modern nation-state. Taking the fifth position is Sultan Murad III of the Ottoman Empire, 1574 to 1595, a ruler whose reign was less about battlefield conquests and more about the hidden intrigues of the imperial harem. Murad III's personal life was a world unto itself, defined by an astonishing number of relationships and children. He fathered over 100 offspring with more than 500 concubines, an unparalleled testament to the Ottoman tradition of dynastic abundance. Yet this staggering prolificacy came with dangerous consequences. Murad spent much of his later years secluded within the opulent Topkapi Palace, leaving governance largely in the hands of his mother and favored consorts. The harem, far from being a mere place of leisure, became a volatile political arena where women competed fiercely to secure the future of their own sons. Upon Murad's death, this lack of a clear succession order led to tragedy. His heir, Mehmed III, followed the grim Ottoman practice of fratricide, executing 19 of his brothers to eliminate rivals. Murad's legacy is a cautionary tale of how unrestrained dynastic expansion without a stable succession plan could transform a symbol of imperial power into a source of dangerous instability and internal bloodshed. At number 4, we encounter the legendary Ramesses II of ancient Egypt, 1279 to 1213 BCE, often hailed as the greatest pharaoh of the New Kingdom and remembered not only for his monumental temples and military victories, but also for his extraordinary progeny. Ruling for an unprecedented 66 years, Ramesses fathered over 100 children with more than 200 wives and concubines, a feat unmatched in the ancient world. Historical records meticulously document between 48 and 50 sons and 40 to 53 daughters, their names carved into temple walls and colossal monuments. This public display of his vast family was deliberate, a form of dynastic propaganda showcasing his divine favor and unmatched vitality. However, the grandeur was not without sorrow. Ramesses outlived many of his heirs, including his first 12 sons, a sobering reflection of the high child mortality rates of his era. By immortalizing his children in stone, Ramesses wasn't just recording history, he was asserting his enduring right to rule, presenting his lineage as a living extension of the gods themselves. His dynasty became a visible, monumental statement of power that could be read in hieroglyphs for millennia. At number 3, we meet the legendary Genghis Khan, 1206 to 1227, the ultimate conqueror whose armies reshaped the map of Eurasia, but whose most staggering legacy may not be his empire, but his bloodline. While the precise number of his direct children remains a mystery, estimated in the hundreds, modern genetic research has revealed a legacy of truly jaw-dropping scale. A groundbreaking 2003 study discovered that nearly 16 million men alive today carry a Y chromosome traceable to Genghis himself, a figure that represents around 0.5% of the world's male population. His reproductive reach was no accident. His wives and concubines, numbering over 500, were often acquired through conquest or as political tributes from subjugated rulers. Each union served a dual purpose, securing loyalty in newly conquered territories and extending his genetic and political influence. His sons and grandsons eagerly continued this strategy, spreading the family's bloodline across an empire that stretched from the Pacific to Eastern Europe. Genghis Khan's Khan's unprecedented biological footprint stands as one of the most remarkable intersections of military conquest, political strategy, and human reproduction in history. A legacy written not just in chronicles, but in the DNA of millions. At number 2, we have King Sobhuza II of Swaziland, 1899 to 1982, the world's longest reigning monarch, whose political longevity was matched only by his extraordinary family size. Sobhuza's reign lasted an astounding 82 years, during which he fathered 210 children with 70 wives, and left behind over 1,000 grandchildren at the time of his death. This was no mere personal indulgence. It was a calculated strategy rooted in Swazi tradition, blending cultural heritage with shrewd political vision. By marrying women from prominent families throughout the nation, Sobhuza forged an intricate web of alliances that bolstered unity and strengthened his rule. His vast network of wives and children became the living embodiment of national cohesion, with the Dlamini royal family firmly entrenched as the heart of Swaziland's governance. Even in the 20th century, when polygamy was increasingly rare among global leaders, Sobhuza demonstrated that it could still serve as a powerful tool of statecraft. His legacy is one of both familial and political magnitude, ensuring that his bloodline and influence would remain central to the nation's identity for generations. And at number 1, reigning supreme is Moulay Ismaïl of Morocco, 1672 to 1727, a ruler whose dynastic ambition set a record that still astounds historians and scientists alike. Known as the Warrior King, Moulay Ismaïl is credited with fathering 888 children according to Guinness World Records, though his own records claim an even higher total of 1,171. A 2012 scientific study confirmed such numbers were biologically possible, given his decades-long rule, vast harem of over 500 women, and relentless drive to expand his bloodline. From his grand palace in Meknes, he combined iron-fisted rule with an almost industrial approach to reproduction. Obsessed with producing male heirs, he reportedly ordered newborn daughters of concubines to be suffocated at birth, a chilling testament to the brutal priorities of his era. For Moulay Ismaïl, children were not simply a family matter but a political necessity, each birth reinforcing his dynasty's control over Morocco. His legacy is the most extreme example on this list, illustrating the extraordinary and sometimes horrifying lengths to which a ruler could go to secure an unshakable dynasty. It is a story where the power of lineage overshadowed all else, leaving behind a record unmatched in human history. The tales of these 10 rulers reveal far more than staggering numbers. They uncover a world where bloodlines were weapons, marriages were political treaties, and children were the currency of empire building. From Abdul Aziz's nation-forging alliances to Genghis Khan's genetic conquest and the brutal succession wars of the Ottomans, procreation was as critical to power as the sword. Yet behind these dynasties lay human cost, ambition, and intrigue on a scale history rarely dares to imagine. If you enjoyed exploring these incredible stories, don't forget to comment with your thoughts, like the video, and subscribe for more fascinating journeys into the past. Thanks for watching.